Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Year of the Batman. Today's two episodes are Feet of Clay, Part 1 and 2. So you can probably guess it's Clayface episode, it's his origin, and I think it'll be easier if I just explain Bruce Wayne's side and Clayface's side instead of back and forth, back and forth. So it starts off Bruce Wayne and Lucius are having a very late night meeting, and it turns out Bruce asked Lucius to bring some details regarding uh, Roland Daggett, and it turns out those files were like really incriminating evidence, and he's giving it to Bruce, and it turns out that the setup, him and Daggett's like cronies um, are like, hey, we're gonna take that information from you so it doesn't see the light of day. And it's so funny because Lucius makes a run for it, and they can't shoot him worth a damn. But then, out of nowhere, this guy he shoots perfectly two ropes on a sign that knocks him out, and I'm just like, so you can shoot two ropes, but not a big human moving target. Like, yeah, it's moving, but like two little bitty ropes, you can shoot that just fine. I don't know. Okay, but it turns out obviously it's not Bruce Wayne. It was I believe his name is Matt Hogar, it's something like Matt Hagen, um, who turns out he has this putty uh, given to him by Dagon Industries that allows him to like morph his face and whatnot. So that's how he was able to convince Lucius that he was Bruce Wayne in the first place. So he wants more of the stuff. But Daggett, he's pissed. He's like, all right, he botched that job. Lucius got away with those secrets. Um, yeah, we're done. We're done with Matt Hagen, and I know for a fact he's coming to me because he needs the putty because we're the only people in the friggin' world to make it. So he's playing the waiting game, but Matt Hagen eventually does come back because he's just out of the putty and he needs it, and he gets ambushed by two of his guys, and they're like, "Hey, what what if we give him the the putty?" So they take like this huge vial, like it's like this much of it, and they like force feed it, like the whole damn thing. It's like probably like 2-3 gallons worth. And that stuff usually he just puts it on his skin, but this time they're like, "Nah, this is going straight to your tum tum, buddy." So they leave him in a, which is really weird. They just leave him in a car to die. Um, and I'm just like, you're not gonna like dump the body anywhere. You're just gonna leave him in a car and hope for the best. So his one buddy, he eventually finds out where his car is, and he sees him, and he turns out he's this like horrible deformed monster, and that's the end of his part of the story. So Bruce Wayne, when he gets introduced to it, um, oh god, a little bit of brain fart. So Alfred's like, "Hey, Bruce, you're kind of a wanted man right now." And Bruce is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And you, oh yeah, Alfred's like, "Yeah, Lucius Fox said you kind of are the reason why he's hospitalized right now." And Bruce is like, "Oh shit!" And this is all after during the meeting when things were going south. Batman, it's funny, he did show up and he did have a fight with the three guys, but he didn't bother to help the police out. So they all got away except for maybe like one guy. And I'm just like, Batman, fucking, why did you run? Like, help the guys out for God's sake. So he's like on his computer, the back computer, and he's trying to remember one of the thugs' faces, which he eventually figures out. And so it's pretty funny. He knows that the one thug that he's hunting always listens to the cop radio. So he like uses this electronic device to change his voice to a female, and he's like, "All units be on the lookout for so and so," and it's describing the thug, and the thug is like really nervous, so he gets out of there, and he starts driving, and Batman starts following him, and it's a pretty intense chase scene. He eventually chases the guy into a tunnel, which Batman drives all the way around to go from the other side. So they both collide. He like turns really hard, and Batman he like uses his wings to pierce the entire vehicle and lift him away. And he then uses like a bat claw to rip the door open, and then to like kind of like a little crab, like hold him by the hand. And at this point, the car is completely gone. He's just being held by his fucking wrist, and he is driving him all over the city, like underwater, like all this stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Batman, you are going to rip off this fucking guy's arm. What are you doing? Because he wanted to interrogate him because he's like, I know for a fact that it's not Bruce Wayne because I'm fucking Bruce Wayne. So he's doing all this stuff, and before he can really give any like actual response, he faints, and he then is stopped by like some police helicopters. Like, Batman, what are you doing? Put him down. And he drops him like 50 feet into a swimming pool, even though he's currently unconscious. And he's like, that should wake him up. And I'm like, will it? I'm like, dude, he's unconscious. Just just land the damn thing and just give him to the cops. There was no need to drop an unconscious man into a pool. That was just uncalled for. But yeah, so then, as Bruce Wayne, he sneaks into the hospital and tries to contact Lucius, but Lucius he like rings for assistance, and Bruce Wayne's arrested. So that's the end of both stories at this part of it, and then it's going into part two. So now, Daggett, or not Daggett, Hagen, Matt Hagen, who's now Clayface, he figures out that like, oh shit, I can actually change my appearance just by thinking of it. That's pretty cool because he like sees a picture of himself, and he like it like naturally just changes to match it, and he's like, huh, I can get to Daggett now, so this is pretty cool. So his plan is he's gonna go to where Lucius is at because he knows that Daggett's gonna tie up a loose end. So he's gonna wait till a thug tries to attack Lucius and then take the form of that thug to get to Daggett, which is a pretty solid plan, I will say. Um, Batman, on the other hand, he is pretty much up to the same thing, but he still doesn't know who this new Bruce Wayne is. So he, I guess he's waiting for the same thing for a thug to attack Lucius. So he runs into the thug, and it's really funny. The thug they send has like a huge germ phobia, and there's this really good interrogation scene where the guy's like, imagine my level, and there's a shelf right here. He puts like a dead like the guy thinks it's a deadly disease like right on top, and he punches the wall, and every time he does, the jar gets a little closer, so you think it's gonna like fall on his head. I'm like, okay, that's funny. Turns out, I mean, the thing he was threatening it with was seawater, but he thought it was like some kind of disease, which is really a good interrogation scene. And before Batman's able to get a good clear answer, like he knows it's Matt Dagan or Hagen, but before he can hear how he does it, a cop comes in, which turns out to be Clayface, and he knocks him out. So then he is trying to take the thug with him, but Batman stops him, and he notices when he sees like his true Clayface form, Clayface like his head turns into a Batman cowl real quickly, and then it stops, and he's like, "Huh, I'll keep that up here for later." So Clayface escapes because he jumped off like 10 stories but landed perfectly fine as a puddle because he's got like no fucking bones now, and then he just slinks off. So Batman he goes to his old trailer because he's an actor, a famous actor who he he got into an accident which like really deformed his face, and that's what led him to be associated with Daggett because the cream can turn your face into putty. So that explains how it got from point A to point B. And during that time, his career launched even higher, getting all these great roles. So anyway, Batman's at the trailer. He finds the Daggett cream, and he's like, okay, so this is, I don't know exactly how, but I know Daggett is connected in some way with this Clayface fella. So now Daggett, he's on this talk show, and he's promoting this like new you cream, which is the cream that like is like the reason why Clayface is Clayface. So Batman, it's funny, he disguises himself as like a janitor, and he goes into the I guess the taping room, and you're like, what is he up to? Because he puts a bunch of VCRs and all the TVs, because it's a room surrounded by TVs, and he starts putting VCRs in the TVs, and you're like, what are you up to? And then the questions are in the audience for Daggett, and this one woman, she comes up, and she's like, yeah, I can't help but notice this product fucking sucks, because it has affected me so much. And it turns out that woman was Clayface, and Clayface attacks Daggett, but Batman stops Daggett, and they have a good fight. And he eventually leads him into the room with all the TVs, because that was his trap. And he turns the TVs on, and it's all different characters that he's played. And Two Face, or not Two Face, Clayface, he has this kind of reaction to like kind of naturally change. So he's like changing into all these faces at once. Probably my favorite bit of animation in the series, like how they do Clayface, is so beautiful. I mean, every frame is filled with love in this episode. I feel like, especially Clayface, but the scene where he's like freaking out and like getting affected, and his body keeps changing and whatnot. And the cops come in, and at some point they see him change into Bruce Wayne. They're like, "Oh shit! I guess that's the real fake Bruce Wayne." Um, but then Clayface, he smashes a TV. He gets zapped with electricity, and it knocks him out cold. And that's the end of that. Fast forward to there in the Batcave, and Batman, he's experimenting with a little piece of clay that was left off of him, and he's like, Alfred, this clay does not react with electricity whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure he just escaped on us, which turned out to be true. It was all just a big act, because he acted like he was fucking dead, and that was just an act because he's an actor. So yeah, now we have a Clayface out on the loose. So yeah, really, 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 really good episode. The plot through and through was solid. Animation alone carries this episode. How they did Clayface was so, so, so well done. Um, his power set is really cool. Just everything about this, the two episodes were really like, episode one, not really too much happens. It's just set up, but like the second episode, it's so good. So I'm honestly gonna rate this a 7 out of 7. Just yeah, good stuff.